yeah. This is weird. I haven't made a video in 5 years. I am Kenzie. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing YouTube to hold myself accountable. Starting 2020, I had some goals in my life that, if we're being quite honest, I will not hold myself to if I don't make it a public knowledge thing. 2019 was one of the best and worst years of my life. I had a lot of change come in my life, really starting at the end of 2018. My fiance and I took over my family house and started making a lot of changes to it, some necessary, some unnecessary, but once we started, we kind of felt the need to continue to make everything look uniform. And so we're getting close to the end of that, and that's been a going on 2-year process now. But it's been a fun process, but it has been stressful. We also got married at the beginning of 2019. We got married in April. We got married at Universal Studios in Florida with a lot of close family and friends. So one of the things I'd like to do with this platform as I create it, if anything ever comes of it, is to do some kind of DIY wedding tutorials. I've done basically everything that was involved in my wedding. My mom and I figured out a way to do. So we did everything from making the bouquets to deciding how to set up the arch. Me and my mom and dad and my stepmom did that as a collaborative effort, which was a really amazing kind of bonding familial experience for me. I don't know if it was that for them, but it was really that for me, and I really enjoyed doing that. My husband always wanted to get married at the beach, but I'm horrified of the ocean. Horrified. I have had bad experiences with the ocean, so I really wanted to do something that would be kind of a compromise there, and we went to Universal Studios a couple years back, and I wanted to give him that opportunity to have the dream wedding that he wanted, and me have the dream wedding that I wanted, which I didn't know at all what was when I started. So I kind of want to talk about things like that too. I had never really planned on getting married. My fiance and I got engaged, and I had no plans for what I would like a wedding to be. Me being horrified of the ocean, I was like, fake beach in the middle of landlocked Florida. That did cause some bumps in the road along the way, and I'm sure I'll get into all of that if I do anything wedding related, but that was all a really fun part of my life that was also very stressful. I'm somebody who struggles with anxiety and depression, so all of those stressors being added onto moving, and I changed careers at the end of 2018. I had worked in food service for a very long time, and I went to work in marketing, so that was a big difference in my life, and it was a learning curve too. So all of this kind of happened at the same time, making the end of 2018 and all of 2019 very stressful. I should probably actually start talking about what I'm gonna do here, and then maybe expose more of 2019 and talk about my goals for 2020. So what I'm gonna do on Sundays, I always do kind of a self-care day. So basically yesterday I went to TJ Maxx. I had never shopped for skincare or makeup at TJ Maxx before, but they have some pretty good finds. Now I would say certainly sanitize any lip products that you purchase at TJ Maxx because they're not often sealed. So, and it's not like Sephora where you have or Ulta where you have a tester. You just kind of have the product, so I'm sure people try them on their lips. I used to work at Sephora, so I know people would do that with testers immediately, so I wouldn't be surprised if people open them and try them. So just make sure you sanitize them, take like a cotton swab to them and some alcohol if you purchase from TJ Maxx. But it seemed like they had some really cool things, so I got a couple of skincare items. I am 100% cruelty free when it comes to skincare. I was a vegetarian for 4.5 years. I had been cruelty free prior to that, but I really dove heavy into being cruelty free at the time. I am no longer vegetarian. I was a vegetarian up until about a year ago, and that's kind of part of one of my goals, so I'll talk about that here shortly. But before going any further, I guess I'll start doing the skincare stuff. Yesterday when I was at TJ Maxx, I got this Acure Seriously Soothing Under Eye Hydrogel. This one is kind of messy. It was the top one in the box, so I'm sure people just got powder products and stuff onto it. It's also sealed inside of the package, or I wouldn't have used this top one because it was kind of gross and I was concerned that maybe it was discoloration, but it's not. I looked into the innards of it. This is a cruelty-free brand. I have gotten stuff from them before at Target. Go ahead and start putting these on. They're really slimy. This one will be this under eye. Oh, that's very cooling. I keep these in the refrigerator. I would really like to get a skincare fridge. That is one of my 2020 wants. If I ever have just some extra spending money for one of those. That's a very luxury item that I don't necessarily need, but I would like to have maybe. There we go. Upon first experience of this, it is a little, I don't know if it's burning. I can't tell yet. We'll see. But this one's got a little tear in it too. But they were sealed, so I'm not afraid that anything's gotten into them. They're just kind of nice and relaxing. So there is the first thing. The second thing I am going to do, and I'll talk a little more as I do this, is apply a face mask. Now this is the Kate Somerville Wrinkle Warrior. For a long time, I didn't use Kate Somerville products because I wasn't sure if it was cruelty-free or not. I had seen kind of back and forth on that. There are no certifications cruelty-free as far as it's not Leaping Bunny certified or PETA certified, but a lot of companies that aren't certified by either of those methods are still cruelty-free. You just have to go through a vetting process. I would suggest looking into Logical Harmony. Tashina, she does things here on YouTube. She also has a blog. She was very, very helpful to me. She is vegan, so a lot of her suggestions are vegan. I don't necessarily think that a product has to be vegan, but I would prefer it to be. Like I wouldn't want to purchase anything that had carmine in it. I don't want to crush up bugs. As far as Kate Somerville being cruelty-free, that is verified by another source that I use, Cruelty Free Kitty. So again, not Leaping Bunny certified or on the PETA list as far as I'm aware to this day, but is considered cruelty-free, doesn't sell to areas that test on animals, so like China, so we'll see. I've never used any of her products before, but I found it at TJ Maxx and it was $10, and I know from working at Sephora that her skincare is pricey. It's not, you know, insanely pricey, but it is definitely on the higher end of the spectrum, so we'll see what this is. Now, it does say that you can use this morning or night, 1 to 3 times per week. And just to apply a thin layer on, or an even layer onto clean, moist skin, avoiding the eye area, which won't be a problem because we have eye patches on. Leave on for 10 minutes and then rinse off. So I'll do that. It does smell really good, and it is, I don't know if you can tell, but it is pink and kind of sparkly. Can you see the sparkles? It's pretty. But I'll go ahead and apply that. So back into my ramblings, the musings part of this me time musings. I want to use this as a platform to keep me accountable for things that I want to do in my life, and I feel like if I tell other people that I'm doing it, I'm much more likely to do it than if I just keep it in my own head. So but you never know. So oh no, stay on, little guy. Okay, he's staying on. Maybe I need to just bend back a little bit more. Hopefully I don't bump it with my mask applicator. When I was at Target yesterday, I saw that the Sonia Kashuk brand has a whole mask applicator set. It's like a few different brushes and then like a spatula type thing like this guy here. But yeah, it's got she's got a whole little kit for different things. So if I'm gonna keep doing this, I might get those because I would like to be able to work in the stuff on my nose here a little more easily. And doing it with one of these little spatulas, that's just not the way. Okay, so I have an even layer across my skin now. So this mask too feels really cooling. It is, I assume, probably going to tighten at some point because it is considered the wrinkle warrior in their line, so hopefully that's what it does. One of the things that has been a bit bothersome to me, and the reason I really want to start doing skincare Sunday, or, you know, just some really good things for my skin throughout the week, is I have noticed I have a lot of wrinkles on my forehead. I'm 23. I'll be 24 in June. So I'm just 23 and a half right now. And ever since I was 18, I have a very expressive forehead. I have an expressive face. I smile a lot. So I just have these big wrinkles on my forehead already. I'm trying to do the things that I can soon in my life, like early, to take care of my wrinkle problem because I have a very expressive face. My husband and I got married in April, and the first couple of months we just kind of had to get used to living with each other, and then we got used to that, and we had to blend dog families, and that was difficult. It was a lot more difficult than we thought. My husband had a 15-year-old Australian Shepherd St. Bernard mix. I had a Doberman and a Lab mix. And of course I also have a cat, who I got right at the beginning of literally the first day at my new job. So in September of 2018, I left work and went home for lunch and found her kind of wriggling in the road, almost getting ready to be hit by a car. So I saved her. I'm not much of a cat person, but I really love her. She's awesome. Her name is Ruby the Cherry. She's named after Ruby from the Suicide Boys. We call her Audienuff the Snow Leopard. She's a diluted tortie, so she's like a tortoiseshell cat, but she's gray instead of black. We had to learn how to deal with having dogs who, like Marley, my husband's dog, had never lived with another dog in his life. My dog Remus, who was living with us originally when Marley and Bradley moved in. My husband's name is Bradley. I don't know if I said that or not, but his name is Bradley. When they first moved in, it was just me and Remus and Ruby living here. And Marley and Remus did not get along, and that was very difficult. We dealt with that. And then my Doberman, Brody, he was living with my mom and our other Doberman. He had some health concerns. So while he had time left to live, we moved him back in with us to make him more comfortable. And we put him on CBD, and he got a lot better. He stopped having seizures. He started eating normally. We thought we weren't going to have him for maybe a month, and then we had him all the way up to December. So the last little bit of the year was really difficult for us, kind of starting in October. I had a really scary, severe, I suppose. I didn't get hurt, and no one else got hurt, no one else was involved, but I had a really serious car wreck. The burning, by the way, that I thought might be happening hasn't been a thing, so I think it was just my skin getting used to having something underneath my eye. That all happened. My husband and I got really sick in the beginning of November. I don't know if we had the flu, but we both got really sick. The doctor said it was a virus, so we're just gonna go with it was a virus. But we were both very sick, and we didn't have they basically told us, no medication's gonna touch this because it's viral. During all this, my Doberman Brody started having this cough, and I thought he essentially had contracted whatever virus that we had, and since the doctor had said, there's not really any kind of medication we can give you for this, I assumed that there was no medication that the vet could give him either, so I figured he would just kind of cough it out as we got better. he kept a cough, and then midway through November, my husband's dog, Marley, he was fairly elderly, but he started passing. So we dealt with that at the end of November. And then after he had passed, we went to Atlanta for a trip to see Kevin Smith on the Reboot Road show. If you don't know me and are watching this, then I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. He is my favorite director of all time. I love all of his films. I think they're great. So we went to see him, and then we came back that Sunday. So Marley passed on a Thursday. We left on Saturday morning and we came back Sunday afternoon. We got back and Brody still had a cough. So I was like, okay, it's been like a week. I'm gonna take him to the vet and just make sure that there's nothing else going on. They said his heart was racing, so they were afraid he might have heartworms, and they decided to do a chest x-ray. When they did the x-ray, his lungs were just covered, and he had been asymptomatic, but it turned out he had fairly late stage lung cancer. So from that point, he just got sicker and sicker and passed away early December. So we had a hard end to 2019. I did end up getting a new car in December, so that was a positive. My husband gave us an incredible Christmas. He got me my vanity, which kind of gave me the spark to want to do this. So thank you, Bradley, for doing that for me. That means really a huge lot. I kind of want to start 2020 on a positive light and do things for myself that I've always wanted to do. So basically, I am gonna start doing product reviews and tutorials if I see fit. I have some ideas maybe for some kind of experiential things from working at least on the retail side of the beauty community, from having worked at Sephora. There are some different things I want to talk about, some kind of reasons to stay away from pseudoscience, and that's something that's really important to me too. So I don't know. I don't really know what this is going to be, if it turns into anything. I definitely want to do some dog content. My dog Remus, we do still have him, the lab mix. He is 6 years old. He is awesome. We take him everywhere now that we only have one dog. He's in here right now. He's kind of lazy, so he probably won't get up and show himself on the camera, but I will just insert some little Remus footage here.
Remus. Hey, sugar bear. Hey, sugar. Hey, honey. Here's a little baby. You're a little lazy baby. Sundays are lazy days, that's right.
Yeah, that was Remus, and he's adorable, and he's the light of mine and my husband's lives, and so is Ruby. I'm sure you'll see her too. She kind of does crazy things, so if she tries to climb this tree back here, don't be surprised if it just like tips over. For now, I guess I'll go wash my stuff off my skin, give you kind of my final thoughts on if I feel like it made a lot of a difference in my skin upon first application, and kind of wrap this video up. Okay, so now that that mask is off and the gels are off, I will say my skin feels pretty tight, a little tingly. I don't think it feels irritated, just a little tingly. So I definitely, on first application, quite like this mask. It did say to do it with your typical skincare routine already done. So I'll show you what that is. I have started using this St. Ives cleanser recently. It is an acne control cleanser. I have never had acne in my life until this past year, but I have gotten to where I break out a fair bit in my cheek area. So I have started using this. If you didn't know, St. Ives has been certified cruelty-free now, so that is awesome. I used to use their products a lot when I was a kid. This cleanser is awesome. It is tea tree. I am allergic to mint, so a lot of things have menthol in them, and I try to steer clear of those. But that's true and also untrue, so I'll explain that in another video. I'm gonna go ahead and just put on some lip balm. This is the Sun Balm, coconut flavored. It does have SPF 30 in it. I watched Jen Love's reviews. everything about lip balms video. I don't know exactly what the full name of it was, but she said this was one of the best ones, which was awesome because I had literally just purchased it. I really over exfoliated my lips today because they were very dry, and so now they're very sore. Don't do that. Also, in my typical skincare routine, I do have this Pixi Skin Treats collagen and retinol serum. The actual serum in here to me doesn't really have a scent. A lot of Pixi products do have a fairly strong fragrance. So if that's something that you're not into, I would not necessarily suggest Pixi skincare for you, but I like a lot of their products. This one I like especially. I haven't been using it for that long, but I like it a lot better than I liked the vitamin C serum. Vitamin C is very difficult to work with. You kind of need to keep it cold and keep it from being exposed to air and light, and same thing with retinols. This one does have retinol in it, but the glass bottles for all the Pixi products are not see-through, so that is good. You're not going to expose it so much to light, just more to air, opening it and closing it. I also use the Pixi Retinol Eye Cream. That is from their Jasmine Retinol line. I haven't used anything else. Well, that's not true. I've used the Overnight Oil from that line. It is a retinol oil. And I do need to go ahead and just put some of this on. I didn't put any on before. I put it up to the orbital area of my eye, just making sure to use my ring finger because it does have the lightest touch and pat it in. Another goal I'm trying to keep myself accountable of is weight loss related. Again, if you're seeing this and you don't know me in my personal life, which you probably aren't, is that I've been overweight a fair bit throughout my life, and not like incredibly overweight, but overweight enough that it was bothersome to me. And at one point I lost 40 pounds during being a vegetarian. So when I was 18 is when I first started being a vegetarian. From then until 21, I lost 40 to 45 pounds. And I got down to a place I was really happy with my body. I was like a size 4 at that point, and I have I've gained a fair bit of that weight back since going to a more omnivorous diet. So that's something that I'm really trying to hold myself accountable with. So hopefully this will make me want to go to the gym. I do have gym access. I just have to make myself go, and I also have to make myself eat healthier and not drink a ton of soda. I love Sprite. I drink so much Sprite, and I'm trying to kind of combat those habits and make myself feel better again, because I am not really all that happy with how I feel right now. I feel okay about how I look, but I just don't feel very healthy, and I would like to go back to feeling healthy. So that is kind of the last goal that I want to hold myself accountable for. To kind of recap and wrap things up, I do have several goals that I want to use. Having any form of platform, no matter how incredibly small that it probably is, to do things for myself and maybe pass on some, something helpful to someone else maybe. So I do want to do some DIY wedding things and talk about some also of the emotional sides of being engaged and married, and getting married. There's a lot that goes into it that people, I feel like, don't feel like it's okay to talk about. There are some negative emotions, especially if you're somebody who experiences anxiety or experiences depression or other forms of mental illness, that can be really quote unquote triggering for you, So those are some things that I'd like to talk about. I do want to do product reviews. I want to talk about makeup. Mostly I want this to be a makeup channel. I would like to also do some more, delve more into the special effects world, but I do need to get and build up more of a special effects kit to do that. So that's maybe some way I can get my husband to be more involved as kind of a model for me to do special effects on. So that would be fun. I also would like to just kind of discuss, especially like I said, some issues related to scalp care, maybe some issues that I've seen from working in the beauty community, from a retail standpoint, from an observatory standpoint. I did go through a lot of the process of getting certified through Sephora as a makeup artist, but I left right before completing that process, and I might talk about that. So I'm not a certified makeup artist. I am just an amateur at makeup, but it's something that I really care about and would like to talk about and do. I don't think that I'm bad at it, and I would like to, just kind of give myself a way to be more creative. And then finally, also just maybe some dog content, just some more fun content like that, and maybe some more serious content too, more science related things. I like the science behind skincare. I think that's fascinating. The only thing I didn't mention in my skincare routine, by the way, is a moisturizer, because the moisturizer I'm currently using is not cruelty-free. I know earlier I think I said that I'm 100% cruelty-free, and that is with the asterisk that I have some items that have been given to me or that I purchased in a moment of having really severe skin issues, and that is one of those items. When I first started having really bad issues, one of the things, as far as like breaking out a lot, one of the things that I noticed was it was often related to the moisturizer I was using, and every cruelty-free moisturizer that I used, it just tended to break me out. I have been on kind of more of a low buy in the past year because we've done so much with our house, so I would like to phase some more higher end products back into my skincare routine, and maybe I can get something like from the First Aid Beauty that's really good and non-comedogenic and doesn't have any fragrance. But the moisturizer that I've been using, because I've had it now for probably going on a year, it's probably almost time to get rid of it, is the CeraVe moisturizer, just like their regular cream. And I don't really want to promote the use of non-cruelty free items on my channel, but that is what I'm currently using just to use it up. The Taylor suggested it, now Taylor Wynn here on YouTube, but I've watched her videos forever. We have very similar skin tones, and all of her makeup suggestions typically work for me, and that has been a really good moisturizer for my skin and to not trigger my skin to do anything bad again until I really want to invest in another moisturizer. I'm just going to keep using this one that I already have and have had for a long time. So that's the only reason I didn't mention a moisturizer, but I am thinking about getting that new milk moisturizer. So if you've tried that and suggest it, let me know, because I would really like to give that a try. It looks kind of similar in consistency. Thank you if you watch this. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you watch this all the way to the end, because this was a rambly ass mess. But I thank you so much. I hope you have an awesome day. Take some me time, muse over your thoughts, and have an awesome Sunday, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye!